Hi everyone. So today we have Upamanyu Chatterjee, who is AIR 10 in CLAT 2023 attempt with us on board, and he will be guiding you for your preparation journey of CLAT. Upamanyu, born and brought up in Nagpur, he actually attempted CLAT last year as well, but he secured his AIR in 900s last year. But then again, he decided to take a drop. And after taking a drop and putting on a lot of efforts and hard work, getting on the right strategy, he was actually able to score AIR 10 and was able to make it into the dream NLU, that is NLS Bangalore. So first of all, I would like to congratulate you a lot, Upamanyu.
Thank you, sir.
So Manu, tell about your preparation journey. How many hours did you study and how did you divide your study hours into various sections and all? Please.
Right. So I'll speak for 20. I'll only speak for 23. So of what 22, CLAT 22 did for me was it told me a lot of things that I was doing wrong and what things that I had to correct so that I could make it for 23. So that was a big learning curve for me. I actually am very phobic to maths and numbers. So I just hated that subject and I just couldn't look at numbers for a lot of time. In for 22, I did not even attend the section, and I had planned कि मैं बिना math attempt किए ही मेरा CLAT हो जाएगा, but that was a harsh reality and a big shock to me कि sir बिना math के तो नहीं होगा. So that was one learning I got from 22 that I had to incorporate into 23 कि रोज math करना है. So that was one thing that I did. The other was being consistent with a lot of subjects, but CLAT I feel is an examination where you just cannot ignore it for like 5 days and then all of a sudden study for 6 hours on a Sunday and then you can crack it. You need to give it, even if for a short while, you need to give it the respect it deserves when do it daily. And for especially subjects like GK, you cannot ignore it and hope that you'll able to mug everything up in the last month and the month and a half. You need to go at it every day. Do it every day. So consistency and not ignoring math were two things that that were the learnings from me out of 22, and that was what I incorporated into my prep for 23. I had, I think, 5 months for 23, if I'm not wrong. What I did, my plan for the day throughout was I was pretty good in English and the reading sections. I was not very bad. So I had a command over my language. So those subjects I used to switch up every day. I used to do math every day and I used to do GK every day, which I was not doing in the previous uh, examination. So that was what I did, and because I hated math, so that was the first thing that I used to usually do when I first got up in the morning, to just get it out of the way because I would end up procrastinating otherwise.
Okay.
So
How
that
much
was
time
the
did you
strategy.
devote to maths in the morning?
It's 2 hours every day.
2 hours every day. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. And what about GK?
I used to read two newspapers. I used to read the Hindu in the morning and the Indian Express in the evening, and all the compendiums and all of that. I used to do it at the end of the week. So my newspapers were my major source, and that actually gave me a lot of confidence because through newspapers, क्या होता है, you are actually able to form your opinions and know in detail about the topic instead of just mugging up the topics. So what that helps you in doing is you can make educated guesses in the examination, right? So if you don't know about any particular topic, if you know the outside uska background that you gather from the newspaper article, you can make a calculated guess, which you
Right.
cannot do if you're studying just through compendiums, क्योंकि तुमको या तो फिर आता है या तो नहीं आता है.
Okay. So, like you were provided with a GK mantra of clatprep as well, and as I told
Yeah.
you that you should go through it every day. I mean, dividing like that was a bi-monthly magazine, you know it, and every month you used to get two magazines for a particular month. तो उससे क्या help मिला आपको?
Right. It actually helped me it actually helped me select topics and put me on the right path because जब मैं टॉपिक्स पढ़ रहा हूँ न्यूज़पेपर से, So seeing those same topics in that magazine actually helped me and told me that the direction I was going was actually correct, and it helped me brush up on everything and gave me a path on the way that you navigate topics and select topics for an examination.
Okay. Tell me your preparation journey as a dropper, because this video, I believe, would be very, very helpful and would be very enlightening for those students who are deciding to take a drop. And you being a dropper and then securing AIR 10, it is commendable. So, why should a dropper feel confident of cracking the exam? I mean, what preparation journey, what preparation strategy he has to adopt? You
Uh,
please throw some light on it.
I think the biggest advantage of the dropper is that he's already given the exam once. And I cannot stress enough how important it is. CLAT as an examination, I believe, is more of an attitude examination than an aptitude examination. So 90% of what your of how you'll fare is how you feel on that day, and how you prepare yourself, and how you ca- tackle everything that is thrown upon you. So so I wouldn't say it at disadvantage, but freshers usually get a little bit of frazzled seeing the paper the first time, sitting in that environment of CLAT, and that is what actually happened to me the first time as well. My strategy was put a bit off, and because 2022, if you remember, the GK section was extremely difficult. So I started with that, and because I could not get anything out of that, I actually panicked a lot, and my I throughout my I messed up my whole paper. So staying calm and on your feet is an extremely important aspect of cracking CLAT, and I think giving that paper already once and having that experience is a very strong advantage for everybody who's giving a drop. Also, secondly, if you've given the paper once, so I'm guessing and I'm hoping that you've assuming you've already studied a lot of the basics and you are through with the basics. There's just a little bit of fine tuning required for you to get that score that you need this time. So it so the first journey of CLAT, because CLAT is a very gray paper. It is not, if I can say, a paper like a JE or a NEET that is very very topic oriented.
Right.
CLAT can throw surprises, and it throws surprises every year. So preparation for it tends to be a little bit of haywire and people running all over the place regarding subjects like GK and legal ki yahan se bhi padhna hai, wahan se bhi padhna hai, ye wo everything. So once you're done with the basics, you actually have a good idea about how to tackle and where are the points that need just a little bit of fine tuning for you to get that rank that you need. So I think if you believe in yourself, and if you know that you have the capability to crack the exam, taking a drop is an excellent decision.
Okay, great, great, great. Upmanyu, you had given our mocks as well, और आपके शुरुआत के कुछ mocks में scores probably was not fairly well, which you expected. Then we had a word, we defined some
Yeah,
strategy.
yeah.
तो मुझे ये बताओ, how did our mocks help you, and what analysis did you do over the mocks? Throw some light, please, on it.
Right. What CLAT prep mocks do is that they are so varied that you are prepared. The amount of questions and the difficulty levels of the paper are so varied that a mock where I could score 120, the next mock, it is very possible that I score a 75. And what that does is that it makes it possible कि उस दिन CLAT का जो भी पेपर है, I'm already prepared for a type of surprise. So that was very helpful for me. Also, mocks, I do not believe in giving more than once a week, because I used to, if you remember, that I used to give it every Sunday. And I used,
Right.
because what it did was it provided me with a blueprint for my next week of studying. And I just took it at face value, and I suggest everybody to take your mocks with just a pinch of salt, because it is not an actual CLAT ranking. If I'm being very honest, the second last mock that I gave before the CLAT, I scored around 64 marks.
Yeah.
So it is not a very it is not descriptive of how your CLAT will go. It just a mock essentially just tells you what you don't know and what you've got to study more. So that is essentially the only thing I took out of the mocks. I used to give it every Sunday so that मुझे पता चल गया कि अच्छा अगला Monday to Saturday मुझे क्या पढ़ना है, what things am I going weak at. So that was the only thing I took out of mocks, and just I did not really care about the ranks and whatever I was scoring in the mocks, as long as I got what I needed out of the mocks, which I planned earlier on.
Yeah, that is a very important outcome, which I mean, very important result you have said. Yeah, very important discussion we have made here regarding the ranks, because it is relative performance. So sometimes you were among the top 20 in our mocks, sometimes you're among the top 10, while somewhere you were not there in the top 50 as well in the initial mocks. But then you made it. I mean, that is commendable. Upmani, what kind of preparation strategy you would advise to the CLAT 2024 aspirants?
Stay consistent. Consistency, I cannot stress enough how important it is to stay consistent. If you lose track for 2 weeks, you're back by 2 months. And that was a learning I took out of AI 22. Also, I cannot speak for everybody, but two things that really helped for me in 23 was that I actually had a really strong support system. I was I had a system that constantly backed me, including my parents, my friends, and everybody who just had that faith and belief in me. So on times that it got tough, it was really nice to see people backing me to the hilt. Even after a mock that was not go that bad, my mentors, my parents knew that I could crack it, and that faith actually helped me push forward. Number two is I actually made a lot of sacrifices. Okay, and some sacrifices I made pretty irrelevant, Wale. So if, for example, if I could go and meet my friend for like 15 minutes, I would not do that. That is not affecting my CLAT ka performance if I'm going there for 15 minutes, but I would not do that. What that actually did was, after a point of time in every aspirant's journey, there is a point of time where they get a little lazy, a little complacent, and lag a bit. So, us time pe you can remind yourself ki Upamanyu, you could have gone there us time pe for 15 minutes, but you didn't do it, and you didn't do it for your CLAT. So, abhi wo kar le. So that was an added motivation for me. And what it told me was, you've given up a lot of stuff for your CLAT. Now get your money's worth out of it. Don't let all of it go to waste. So that is something that really helps, because if you consistently make sacrifices and take everything a little bit more. So like अगर मेरे को आप बोल रहे हो कि 2 घंटा मैथ्स कर, and if I'm doing maths 2 घंटा 30 मिनट 2 घंटा 40 मिनट, so if everything I'm doing little bit more, what that eventually will do is tell me that I'm doing things that other people aren't willing to do, so I should be getting things other people aren't going to get. And that mindset is what is actually the most important thing when going into the examination hall, that you need to believe that जो भी क्वेश्चन आएगा, अगर मुझे नहीं आ जाए तो किसी को नहीं आएगा.
Right. That is very important. Coming to a point which you already you took up, अभी जो आप बोल रहे थे, you said me that क्या होता है कई बार कि when droppers, I mean the students who think of taking a drop, and when they actually drop, one situation they come across normally is that अच्छा ये तो मेरा पढ़ा हुआ है, this is already done by me, I know this, so they become confident usually for that, and probably they start missing out on that topics या बहुत lightly ले लेते हैं उन topics को. So उस point पर आप क्या कहना चाहोगे?
I think it was actually the opposite for me, because 22 का preparation में a lot of time during the final moments I was like ये तो पढ़ा हुआ है, ये तो पढ़ा हुआ है. So 23 का preparation, the 22 result actually really humbled me, and every time I felt like ये तो पढ़ा हुआ है, ये तो आता है. So I told myself कि अगर तुझे आता तो तेरा वो rank उस बार ही निकल गया था, नहीं आता है वापस पढ़.
Right.
So that's a really humbling experience.
Okay. उपमन्यु, I do know about your weakest section. जैसे आपने बताया भी था, मैथ्स आपका वीकर सेक्शन, सबसे ज्यादा वीकर सेक्शन था, और आपने उसके लिए काफी हार्ड वर्क किया. You had put in almost 2 hours every day for that. Tell me about your strongest section. I'm not tell me I know. Tell the students about your strongest section and how did you fortify it further, and how did you encash it?
Right. So my strongest section, I wouldn't say anything other than English, because I was good in English. I had a very dicey relationship with CR, because I remember having conversations with you because my CR marks varied a lot. For some marks, I used to get around 12, 13 out of 30, and some marks I used to get around 28, 29, and end up topping the whole mock. So that was a really dicey subject for me, CR. But I ended up getting a 30 out of 30 in CR. So that is what really pushed my score in 23. But CLAT and CR were subjects that were comparatively stronger for me. And the only thing you can do to fortify a reading section of yours is to read extensively and thoroughly.
Right.
You have to read, so you have to be aware of various topics, and you have to diversify your sources. I used to read from a number of newspapers, and I used to read about every topic that I could find. Something about psychology, something about economics, and just to get yourself familiar with the words. I actually used to struggle a lot with philosophies, because Nietzsche और उसका अगर वैसा passage आ जाता था ना, तो philosophies used to really get my goat. But yeah, so I worked on that. If you just take so suppose you're a little weak with economics, what you can do is you take up an economic passage, you underline words that you don't understand, you Google them, and you understand a little. You don't have to get into it and get a degree out of economics. You just have to get a basic idea of what those words mean. So if you put in that efforts, the next time an economic passage comes, it's actually your strong suit. Because at the end of the day, there are the same words, they don't vary it a lot.
Right.
So just extensive reading, and I think if it is your strong section, you really need to fortify it and push for regards to even the time limit. So an English section for a lot of people takes around 27 to 30 minutes, because I thought that I believe that it was my stronger section. I pushed myself to finish the section within 20 to 24 minutes. Anything more than that would be termed as a bad section for me, a bad mock for me. So pushing yourself to actually give yourself the time limit in a section that is strong for you will actually help you tackle the weaker sections as well. Because उस टाइम पे तुम दो नेशनल एवरेज रहेगा उससे ज्यादा टाइम लोगे, because that is your weaker section. So जो तुम्हारा stronger section है, it is very important for you to save some time there.
Okay. Chalo, great, Upamanyu. I believe all this discussion which we have made would actually help the students for CLAT 2024, the students who would be writing their CLAT exam for the first time, the students who are thinking of taking a drop, they would have got enlightened with your whatever suggestions you have made. Thank you so much, Upamanyu, for coming on board and guiding the students of CLAT Prep and
Thank you
others.
so much.
And I would like to congratulate you once again and wish you all the best for all your future endeavors.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Manu. Thank you.